Hi guys, failed to go live. Please try again. Are we live? I think we are at work. Yay! Hello, good evening. I am so sorry we had to reschedule this not once, but twice. But hopefully you guys can actually hear me today. So if I can get a little bit of feedback and you guys can let me know that you can hear me and I don't sound like I'm underwater or in a tunnel or speaking through a can, that would be amazing. What do we got going on? If you can hear me, let me know. Hello, hello. Am I here alone? I'm going to wait a second and see. I don't want to talk to myself. Sound is coming through. A couple people saying yes, that'd be nice. Woo-woo, yes, we have volume. And I don't sound like I'm in a can, right? Yes. Fantastic. All right. I am so excited. I got to tell you what, it has been a long time since I've done a face-to-face type webinar, and I did one a week ago, and I'm doing another one and getting back in there. I know some of you guys know I got pretty sick a while ago, and it is so much fun to be back out there. But I got to be honest with you, it's a lot of work. It's been a long time, and I am so behind on so many things, and the number of messages, woo! It's been kind of fun. So what happened was probably 2 weeks ago, I was in a class. And I'm teaching the class, and I'm like, I need some testimonies. I need some people to share with me and tell me what's going on in your world. What has Young Living done for you? And I had somebody stand up, and I said, now it has to be shared compliantly. And they got up, and they shared this great story. It just took them a couple seconds because we teach them that quick, short, to the point. And she turned to me, and she said, so could I say all that? And I laughed and I said, no, none of it. It was all not compliant. Everything you did was not good. And she's like, oh my gosh. So then we talked about what she could have said instead. So I'm like, okay. So after giving the direction on how she could share her story, I said, okay, who else? Who else has a testimony? Somebody stand up. And of course, they stood up and they started sharing their story. And she started to say something. And she looked at me and she's like, hey, can I say that? I'm like, no, you can't say that. That's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. And we went through this with like 5 or 6 people. And I realized this is something we probably need to work on more, because this isn't a group of people where I talk about compliance a lot. And they still had a really hard time being able to share their story. And so then a few days later on Facebook, a couple different things happened and people sent me a message and said, hey, is this post okay? And I said, no, you can't have that post. That's not okay. And then the cherry on the top, the reason we're having the class today, actually two cherries. I went to an event on Saturday. Another amazing leader, actually 2 platinums in our area, put on this great event, brought corporate in. It was amazing. And the number of things that were said on stage that just, they were the wrong, they crossed that line. They're just things we're not supposed to say. They were all great. They were amazing information. I loved it. But they still weren't compliant. So I thought, we really need to do that. And I talked to Brian during it, and we're whispering back and forth. And several of the speakers that had said things came up afterwards, sat down next to me, chit chat in the same words. So could I say that stuff? Because I think in our heart, I think most of us probably know a lot of the stuff we're doing, we've just gotten kind of lazy. We're crossing that road again. We're getting out there. We're feeling safe. We're feeling secure. So I think this is just a great reminder. This is not a hand slapping. This is nothing changed. It's not like there's new stuff that is, oh my gosh, you guys need to know. So then the topper came. I came home from that event, and on one of my Facebook pages, on my 1090 page, somebody had asked a perfectly legitimate question. She put a flyer on there. It had all kinds of information on there. And she said, so is this flyer compliant? Now, I wasn't there when she posted it, so everybody, because everybody is amazing, jumped in and they started answering questions, and it started turning into a big fight because some of the people say you can say this and some of the people say you can say that, and then they started fighting back and forth, and I thought, you know what? It's time. It's time to go over some of the basics again. So this is not like a deep class. There's no PowerPoint. This is just me sharing you, and if you have some questions while I'm talking, let me know. Put them in the side. I'll try to keep up with them and answer the questions so that when we're done with this, we all know, yes, I can say that. I'm good. And so real quick, I have my fan on because I get hot. If you hear that in the background, let me know. And also, it just started raining. So if it's loud or it's fuzzy, let me know, and I will close the window, and I will sweat to death for you because I care. All right. So if I see that on the side, I'll make some changes. So the first question, the first thing I think people don't know, and I want to cover this, is you guys know that we have two different lines now. We have our Vitality line. I know you can hear the window, just a second. Oh, I love the sound of the rain. Okay, so we have our Vitality line. Those are our white bottles. And then we have our regular line, our original line. When you're talking about these two oils, so Vitality oils can be eaten. They can be ingested. You can put them in a capsule. You can put them in water. You can adjust them however you want. You can eat them. That's our Vitality line. When you're talking about the Vitality line, you can talk about what it does in the body, how it works with the systems, how it can support different systems. I can talk about how a Vitality oil can help with my respiratory system. I can talk about what it does for my digestive system. I can talk about that part. That's Vitality. That's amazing. But when we're talking about a topical aromatic essential oil, so these guys are both orange. Right? They're both orange essential oil. So I'm going to go ahead and open one because it's in my hand, and you know the rule. If it's in my hand, I got to try it, right? So here's my orange topical aromatic essential oil. So I can breathe that in. I can put it on my body. I can put it in my diffuser. I can do anything I want with it. My orange, my Vitality, I can eat. And when you're talking about eating it, so you can just take it straight. You can put it in your water. You can put it in a capsule. You know, you can do anything with it. But only a Vitality oil can we discuss what it does inside our body. And I want to explain the reason why. So according to the FDA, the only time something can affect our system, the only time it can do anything for my heart, for my cardiovascular, for any of that, is when we ingest it. So according to them, this oil that I put on my skin can't do anything. And I get it. I know. I've heard the complaints. Are you kidding me? Your skin is your biggest organ. When we put stuff on our skin, it gets into every single cell in the body. I agree with you. But the government doesn't. And because of that, we have to make sure that we choose to use our words correctly. And Young Living is rocking it out. Not only do we have our original Vitality line, we just had the height of the holiday catalog come out with a whole bunch more. Like, I had my dreams answered. Fennel, I talk about fennel even before we had Vitality, and this is wrong. I shouldn't have done it. But I talk about applying fennel, breathing fennel, and then I would always say, and you can just take a couple drops, put it in your tea, you can drink it. And then I go, if it's Vitality fennel, you could drink it, because I catch myself saying it that way. But now we even have fennel in a Vitality, so we can talk about eating it and consuming it. And when I talk about eating it, I can say that fennel does amazing things with the endocrine system. It gives a little TLC, but I can't say that about fennel topically. I can tell people to take fennel, and topically they can apply it in this area in their body. And I can tell them that they can take it and they can put it on this side of their body, and I can tell them where to apply it and rub it. But now with the Vitality, they can eat it. And when you talk about eating it, you can talk about what it does in the body. Now, a secondary thing, when you're talking about the essential oils, it's really important that we use the words Young Living has already given us. And this is true on all kinds of things. So I hear people say all the time, but Shannon, I can't do it anymore. I can't share Young Living. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. I just don't know. Oh, the rain wasn't bothering us. I'm putting it back open then. Woo. All right. When you're talking, I want you to know we're just making this really hard. So like, I had my kids grab a bunch of oils and a bunch of supplements, just randomly grab them. And I made sure that they were all new ones, so they're new labels, so that they're all what has already been cleared and clarified. So I'm just going to grab one. Right here we have ICP. So when I talk about ICP, I have a couple of options. I can, one, go to the website, and I can copy anything that they typed in there under the description on the website. I can also, like, ICP is in a trio. So I can go to the cleansing trio and I can read what it says in the trio, and I can talk about ICP there. I can also go to the catalog. Listen, your catalog is an amazing resource. You should use these, because you can look up in the catalog and you can say anything that it says in the catalog. But even that, you know what? We don't have to go there. This bottle right here, every bottle that we have says all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to pretend like I don't know you because maybe there's some I don't know, right? So this is Young Living's ICP. Right here on the label, it says that this is a gentle intestinal cleanse. It's made with essential oils. This is one of our dietary supplements. All I'm doing is reading the words that are literally on the bottle. Then you can turn it over and you can say, look, it says right here, you're going to mix 2 rounded teaspoons with at least 8 ounces of water, and you're going to do that at least once a day, but you could do that up to 3 times a day. I didn't have to make any of that up. It says that. Then you can look right here. See this? This is on everything. I can just talk about the ingredients. So I can read this right here. Say it says intestinal cleansing. That's amazing. You're going to do that 2 or 3 times a day. Make sure you get a little water in there. And then in here, inside this bottle, so I can teach you from the bottle and say this has psyllium, this has flaxseed, it has oat, fennel, rice. This is an amazing product. In addition to that, it has, and you can just read the ingredients. Like, this is simple. This is easy. We make it so hard. And you know what? Even if you don't own the bottle, you can, again, go to our website, click on the picture, read what it says on the bottle. The ingredients are listed on almost every single page. And that's not just that one. Like, people are like, oh, you got lucky with that. No, this is our mineral essence. I talk about mineral essence all the time. Matter of fact, when I talk about it, I say something like, it tastes a little bit like butt. Because it's not a yummy taste, right? I flat out say that. But if you read the bottle, the one that they give you with it, it says mineral essence is a balanced, full spectrum ionic mineral complex enhanced with essential oils. And then get this, it tells you what's in it. And I can read out loud. I can go, this great thing. I mean, it doesn't taste good, but in here, you've got magnesium. You've got all these great things that are in here. There's honey, there's royal jelly, there's cistus. There's so many amazing things right in this bottle. And how do you take it? Well, you read it off the label. So we can teach right off of our own stuff. Then, of course, Power Dries. Power Dries says right on the label, this is an enhanced, let's see, what's it say? Power Dries for enhanced physical performance. Woo, you're trying to enhance your physical performance, get your body working good. You talk about it. It's right there. Then on the other side of it, it says this helps to sustain energy and boost stamina and increases strength. Hello, who wants a little energy? Right here. This helps to boost it. And again, I didn't have to say anything non-compliant. If it's already on the bottle, if it's on our website, if it's in a catalog, it's already been approved. I can say any of that. So those are things you can do. And it's not just on 1 or 2 of ours. Everything says something like that. MindWise, the main thing says that it is a rare, which I like starting with that anyways, a rare brain health supporting serum. This is brain. This is huge. And then think of the titles. So this literally says MindWise. What's it going to do? It's going to help my mind be wise. I can teach from that. Again, I can look here. I can read the description here. So I can teach on MindWise all by itself. But then think about our oils. We've got oils like Brain Power. So if I were going to talk about this one, I would think of the oils that would coincide with something like this. So clarity, some great oils you can play with. So we've got our MindWise. This is a rare serum that you can use for your brain. And then we've got a great oil called Brain Power. You can play with that. We've got a great oil, Clarity, Common Sense, right? It's not very common anymore. See how you can tie those in? So I didn't say anything specific about those because they're topical, but the name allows us to be able to share them and speak about them. Does that make sense? Are you guys all on the same page there with me? Okay, so you got that going on. Let me see if I'm missing any questions. I don't want to miss anything. Beautiful. Okay, so you have that. You have your catalog. This is going to help you. But then also in the back office, in your virtual office, Young Living has a ton of information. Like if you're really not sure what to say and you're like, Agiles, what do I say? Well, in addition to the sources I already told you, there's also like a PDF. So like when you go in the catalog, at the bottom of the page, there's words that are highlighted. If you click on them, it takes you to a PDF that has even more information about that product. Not all of our stuff has that, but most of the newer stuff has a PDF. So you've got that. But on top of that, in your virtual office, when you go in there under product education, there are several slideshows. There's PowerPoints that you can use. And again, if it's already in the PowerPoint that's on Young Living's website, It's already been approved. We don't have to worry about saying the wrong thing because Lindsay Elmore has already said it. If she said it, we can say it. Same thing with her videos. We can repeat anything that she says, or we can just turn around and share her video with people, or we can have it in a class and play it because it's all compliant. Nothing's wrong. But then there's also a 52 page of things that they have already approved that we can say. So you can look up in there. So say you're wanting to know what you can say about tea tree, because that happens to be on the front of the page. So tea tree, this is a topical and aromatic. So tea tree, I can say, helps maintain healthy looking hair and scalp. It reduces the appearance of blemishes. You can apply it to your feet and your toenails whenever you need to. It's already there. See, we're making this so much harder than it needs to be. Yes, are there some things you want to say that you shouldn't say? Yeah, we can't talk about diseases. We can't. And quite frankly, I don't want to. The freedom in being able to talk about having an amazing, healthy body, that's freedom. It's also duplicatable. It's also easy. And then there's this. See, all of these rules, all these changes, all these things that people don't like and we don't want to do, if we choose to get on board and we just change our words, we just say, you know what, from now on, I'm going to change the way I say it. I'm going to look at the places that Young Living has made available for us. I'm going to change my verbiage. I'm going to say things the right way. What that's doing is making it so that our children's children still get to use essential oils. See, if we have temper tantrums and we say no, we're going to lose Young Living. And I don't want that. You don't want that. This isn't about losing a membership. This is about losing all these resources. I love my oils. I don't want anything to happen to them. And I don't want to be selfish and have them for me and then forget about my kids and my kids' kids, right? I want this to change a generation. And the real way we change it, if we don't like the rules, if we don't like that the FTC says there's things we can and can't say, if we don't like that the EPA doesn't let us talk about bugs. So you guys know we can't talk about bugs, lice, critters, all that kind of stuff. We can't say that. We can say things like cedarwood allows us to enjoy being outside annoyance-free. You know how I know that? Because if you go to our website, do you know what it says about cedarwood? It says we can use cedar wood and enjoy being outdoor annoyance-free. It's already in there. That's what we can say. I'm willing to make those changes, and it takes effort. I will be totally honest. If you've been in my classes, there are times when all of a sudden I realize that I'm talking about stuff we're not supposed to talk about anymore. I will get all excited about a study, and I'll just start to tell somebody, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I can't talk about that. And I'll stop in the middle of it, and I'll use it as a learning moment. And that's what you need to do. If we learn to identify it as soon as we're doing it, because you all know when you're saying something, you know you have been teaching or talking and you know you are starting to say things you're not supposed to do. And you're just like, well, I'll just say this real quick because nobody's going to tell anyone. We need to check it. When we say it, we need to stop, turn around, and switch it. So that's part of it right there. What's the other things I wanted to talk about? I want to talk about, I want to make sure I'm hitting my list. Sharing your story. So we're allowed to share our testimony and our story as long as we share the whole picture. So for me, I have all kinds of stuff going on. Right now, if you go to my website, shannonhudsonyl.com, shannonhudsonyl.com, and you go on there and you go under handouts, you will see that there's a little picture of me and my husband, and there's a little road, and I think it is Road to Wellness or Road to Health. I don't know what the name of it exactly is, but it's my story on going through MS and a little bit of what I've been going through with having leukemia. It's on there. And it's 100% compliant. It talks about nutrients, it talks about supplements, it talks about oils, but it's in the big picture of what my journey has been. It is not where we get in trouble. The reason why we started getting in trouble is we would say things like marjoram. Marjoram's amazing. It cured my itchy buttitis. And all of a sudden, we made this claim that this oil could do something it wasn't designed to do. It was something the government says it can't do. And that's where we got the problem. But when you share the whole picture, when you share for me, there was changes. I started drinking water. I used to drink 2 liters of diet soda a day. 2 liters of diet soda and a donut was my breakfast most days for years. I didn't know that you weren't supposed to drink diet soda. I didn't know that I needed water in my body. I didn't know that there were side effects. So I talk about that piece. I talk about the fact that my mind changed, my thoughts. Before I was introduced to this world, I didn't think that there was any other options. And so our mindset, when that changes, our body changes. So when you're sharing your story, You have to say the whole story. You can't just say, I put on an oil and when I did, this happened. This miracle stepped in and happened. Because if an oil can do that, and if the FDA can prove that it is, it's no longer just our oils that smell amazing. It turns them into a drug. And then that's when they can take them away from us. And it happens. You know, each country has its own rules and regulations on what can be said and what products they can have. And I know, like my Canadian friends, there's some stuff that they can't have, like DHEA. They're not allowed DHEA over there. They've lost that right. And I don't want to do anything that could jeopardize losing anything here in the United States. I want the right to be able to have all my goodies, right? So it's changing our words so that we maintain that, so that we can do, so that we can use our stuff the way we want to. All right, the next thing. All right, so this is something I've heard and seen from stages and on websites and all kinds of places. So I'm not going to name any names. I'm just going to tell you this. It does not matter if you are a doctor, a nurse, a certified whatever, you still can't make claims. Even as a doctor in their office, when they're in the office and they're working with a patient, can prescribe an essential oil to do anything. They have that right. They can do that. But the second they walk out of that setting and they're not a doctor, they're just like you and I. They are everyday Joes. They can't say anything non-compliant either. It doesn't change. That's the way it is. So it doesn't matter how much you want it to be that way. It doesn't matter if you click your heels 3 times. They still are under the same guidelines that we are under. So having a doctor come in and say something you can't say because you think it makes it compliant, you're just as non-compliant. And let's be honest, even if that were the rule, if we could do that, which we cannot, but even if it was the rule, if you have a doctor get up and they teach it, and then that person, that new person that just got started, leaves, hearing that information, what do they want to tell their friends? You've just built in them that we are a disease company. We are not. We are a wellness company. We are wellness, purpose, and abundance, and we have to get on board with that. And lives are still being changed. See, we've had to change our words. Gosh, how long has it been now? 1.5 years ago, maybe? And guess what? People are still having their lives, see? Sometimes it's hard, right? Their lives are still being changed. Using the oils are going to do what the oils are supposed to do no matter what. You do not have to know how your entire endocrine system works for your body to be able to handle hormones. It knows how to do it all by itself. We give it tools, we give it building blocks. That's what we're talking about, is building up a system. So that makes a little bit of a difference. I'm also going to put this out there. Third-party tools. There's so much information on being able to take care of our bodies wholly, taking care of it from every direction. There's so many different things out there. And when you see an article that you're like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And you want to share it, especially when you're doing it on social media. And you share that article, and that article implies that not only in oil, so if it implies that frankincense can do something unique and special, and you share that on your website, it's non-compliant. And compliance will have you take that down. You won't be able to have that there. If you share a link to say, let's say, a movie about essential oils that makes claims that frankincense can take care of the cells and change the DNA in the cells, and you share it, you're the one that's going to have a problem, not the people that made the movie. See how third-party tools work, and those great books that we all love? The people that sell the books, I love them. I have friends there. They're good friends. The people that made the movie, I love them. I'm friends with them. I read lots of their stuff, but it's still non-compliant for me to share it from my website, to talk about it at one of my events, or to I just seen one of my friends post that they just had a big event and they watched the movie together at their thing. And it looked like a ton of fun. Everybody was there. They were having a good time. But because the movie itself is non-compliant, because it implies things that oils do, but it goes a step beyond that. It's not just talking about what oils can do. If you say, what do we got over here? What do we got? We got, okay, fats, right? Good, healthy fats. This omega gyes can do amazing things. And there's claims right on the bottle on the stuff that it can do. This is a great product. It's working with our brain. It's working with your muscles. Lots of good stuff just in our omega gyes, right? So, and on our website, it talks about it. But if you post a link to a study that says that this goes a step further and it does something that we have not made the claims for, because all the claims that are on Young Living's website, Young Living has done all of its due diligence to know that it makes it FDA okay for us to say that. Does it make it FDA approved? There is a difference. It means that the FDA says, okay, that claim has enough science behind it. You're allowed to say it about that constituent, that nutrient that is inside the bottle. That's what that means when the claim has been done. But if you link a research article that is not from Young Living and it makes a claim that say this can cure cancer, it's non-compliant, even if it doesn't mention omega Gi's by name, but it's mentioning a product that's in there. So let's say it's talking about vitamin D. That's a good one, because there's a bazillion articles on vitamin D. Not just articles, but entire worlds of information on vitamin D. And there's some compliant things that Young Living has said we can say about vitamin D. It's in our products. Anything that goes beyond that is over and above and has not been okayed by Young Living. We can't say it. We can't. And I wouldn't want to risk it anyways. So let's say that it does say that you're like, I'm really confident this is something it does. But if my website can be shut down by compliance for having it on there, is it worth it? It's not worth the stress. When somebody calls me up and they're like, Shannon, oh my gosh, compliance called me and I got the letter and I'm having to do all this stuff. Well, yeah, year and a half you had to clean up your stuff. Stop posting articles. Do not, for the love of Pete, do not post a link to that movie that you all know I'm talking about. You can't do that. The people that made the movie can make it all day long because they're not selling oils. See the difference? So when they get up and they say, this is totally compliant, you can share this, there's nothing wrong with it. Yes, for them to sell it, for them to have the book, it's totally fine. But we're selling essential oils. We're selling supplements. We make a living as this stuff moves. And because of it, the FTC, that's federal trade. That is a completely different thing from the FDA. They say we can't do that. And because of that, we can't. It's not compliant for us. So having a movie with it, putting the post, the number of people that have gotten in trouble for posting that video is huge. Talk about it. Nobody's telling them. And I send little private messages to people and they're like, oh, I didn't know. And they take it down. So I just want to get it out there. Same thing with the different books. We love our books. Do we love our books? We are book lovers. I talk about books all the time, but there's some books that are just not compliant and we can't share them. And I'll be honest, we shouldn't be gifting them either. But you know what? People are going to do what they're supposed to. But according to compliance, we're not supposed to gift them, not before they get in, not after they get in. We can tell them there's some great resources. They can find some amazing information. We can say that all day long. I tell people they can go to Amazon. There's information there. They can go to Kindle if they want to hear stuff. You can even go to like Life Science Publishers. They've got good stuff. I'll throw all that out there and that's completely compliant. It's when you cross the line and you're talking about it or you have it in the class or there's just some stuff that we can't do. So where's the documents in the back office? Go under your virtual office and then go under member resources. After you click on member resources, it is in education. And yes, the call is being recorded. What else is on here? I want to see if I got any stuff. Screen has been frozen for 5 minutes. I'm sorry. Hopefully you can just hear me. No, it's not over. Where can we get compliant info that we can put on our Facebook? Oh my gosh, it's so simple, you guys. Young Living has made it easy for us. Did you guys see the picture that I posted on? I did 2 of them yesterday. One was Valor, and it had Valor 2. It had all the different oils that are in it. Everything that's on that little picture, I literally copied and pasted from Young Living's website. I put a cute little frame around it, and I shared it. So it can be super simple. We do not have to complicate this at all. How can a doctor in an office prescribe an oil for an ailment? Wouldn't that be cause red flags when they start asking questions? Because doctors do that with lots of different things. Like they can write a prescription for anything that is off the books. It doesn't have to be an actual prescription. And as long as it's on the prescription pad, they can do that. I'm not saying whether they do or whether they should, but they do. They can do that in the office. They do that for Pedialyte. They can do that for all kinds of different things. Can you go to PubMed? Yeah, you sure can. You can go to PubMed all day long and read it and enjoy it and educate yourself. You just cannot turn around and post it. That information to teach a class, you just can't do that. Let's see. What movie are you talking about? It's a movie with some great guys that you guys all know. Dr. Stewart is in it. Oh, somebody posted the link. Susan, did I not just say we can't post the link to anything? This is what I'm saying about that little teeny tiny link. Like, it's not going to be there because I'm going to clean it up. You don't have to worry about it. But sharing the link, that right there is something we're not supposed to do, because now who did we have? We have Sean, and Sean's going to go check that out. Sean's going to go to that link and she's going to look at it. And according to the FTC, if Sean decides to buy more oils or she decides to buy more product, then because you enticed her with a movie that's talking about a non-compliant way of using a product. Does that make sense? I mean, it is logical. They're there to be able to protect and defend people. So thank you, Susan. You're okay. It was a great example. Thank you for the example for everybody. But anyways, that's part of what's going on as well. And that goes for anything. And if you get, there's lots of places that have flyers that you can use and you can share and stuff. I highly recommend that you really read through the entire thing. And if anything seems disease related, you probably can't use it. The number of people that have bought flyers and they go, hey, can I use this flyer? And I go, well, you can do whatever you want. It's your business, but it's not compliant. It is what it is. And you don't have to call me up later or email me or text me and say, Shannon, you're being too strict, because I'm not going to change my mind. I've had these conversations with compliance. I know exactly what we can and we can't do. And everybody has to decide where their line is. And I choose to be 100% above it. I don't want anyone, I don't want to tiptoe, because that's what's happening right now. Everybody got scared and everybody stopped doing everything and like, they got scared. But now it's been a while and you're getting more relaxed and I'm seeing more stuff happening. I'm just saying. So, okay, I'm going to clarify. My husband wants me to clarify this. When I said you can go to PubMed, that wasn't advertising for a place that if you go there and get information, it could lead you to do something. So even that, technically, probably not supposed to do that. But that was answering a question. So he wanted me to throw that out there. Let's see, what else do we have? Vitality oils. We talked about bugs. The word's anti. So antifungal, antibacterial, antitumoral, we can't use any of those in any way. All of those are disease related anyways, so we can't talk about those. We can talk about having a nice, healthy, strong immune system, and a nice, strong, healthy immune system can handle anything that comes across it. It's designed to be able to handle and defend itself. We can talk about building up our gut flora. We can talk about cleaning out the gut, because our gut is a part of that. We can talk about the ICP in that. We can talk about anything that is related to that type of a thing. I think it is Thieves that says that it helps to support a healthy immune system. So we can say that, but we can't talk about the diseases. So we wouldn't want to talk about an fungal or an antibacteria because those turn into a drug. Does that make sense? So we can't say that. Can you recommend a body part that you can use the oil topically? Well, sure, absolutely. If it's a topical oil, you can tell them to use it anywhere. I a lot of times tell people to take their Endoflex, and you can just rub it right here on your neck. You can rub it right here over your sides. Yeah, absolutely. You can tell them where to rub it. Don't tell them where to shove it. People don't like that. It's a totally different thing. Anyway, FTC, advertising, marketing. Let's see. What else do I have on here? We might be almost, okay. So one of the cool classes that was taught at the event in Lansing, one of my favorite people, Cricket Lot, love her oodles. I've known her for years and years and years. And she got up and she was talking about the frequency. There's a whole story that has been shared for years, since before I got into Young Living. And it was talking about coffee and what it does to our frequency. And then she was talking about the oils and what they do to the frequency and how they change our frequency. Well, we can't talk about the megahertz and the exact frequencies that the oils have. That's something that we're not supposed to say or talk about. We can talk about it having good energy. We can talk about the vibrations. We can talk about that, but we're not supposed to say the actual like megahertz that an oil has. Like I seen somebody post on one of my things just recently talking about Idaho Blue Spruce and the amazing vibration that it has. And we can't name the numbers. According to what we've been told, we're just not allowed to do that. It turns it into something medical, something that can't be proved, something that we can't validate, whatever other thing they want to say about it. So we can't do that. But you can say it has an amazing energy. It helps us to have that energy and focus. It just helps us to increase and get to a good place. We just can't say the numbers of it. Does that make sense? You guys good on that? Let me see. Even though it does not have a vitality. Yep, even though. The actual the actual frequency, megahertz is the word. We cannot use that. Everyday oil, purple book for the, Yeah, we can't use the book itself that you're referring to. We can't even talk about the book because that book is not a compliant book. So I can't tell them to do anything that's in that book, especially if I'm telling them to do it in a way that it's not on label to do. So we wouldn't be able to talk about that at all. So like, say I'm going to teach on having a healthy, strong bones, muscles, ligaments. I want them to be good. So I can research in any third-party material I want. I can look it up in every single book I own, and I can get lots of ideas in my head. And then what I do is I take those items and I go to all the different places we're allowed to look. So in the catalog, on the online, in the descriptions, I go to the claim sheet that they have in the back office. And what I'm looking for is, like, let's say I want to talk about wintergreen and how good it is for the muscles. I want to talk about that. Well, now I need to be able to find what I'm allowed to say about wintergreen. And so a lot of times you'll notice in my PowerPoints, I'll talk about stuff. I'll specifically say what it does. It's this supplement, this supplement, this supplement, and I make the claims that we're allowed to say. And then I usually have one page that says honorable mentions or fun oils to play with. And those are oils that there's nothing that I can say compliantly. So it's one of those, if I can't say anything, if you can't say something, I just don't say anything at all. I just choose just to throw them on there, and I say they're great oils to play with. Just start using them, see what happens in your body, and I throw it out there. And what happens is people will write down 6, 10, 15 oils, whatever I happen to have on there, and they'll go home and do their due diligence. They'll go home and they'll research it. So I didn't have to say anything about wintergreen and bones because it's a system. It can't affect it, right? Because it's topical. But it's in there under the class that we're doing. So that gives us that little bit there too. Let's see. So the book is not compliant. Why would they sell it then? Because book companies make money selling books. They don't sell oils, they sell books. And then, as I said, you can still use them as research. So they're valid. There's a reason for them to sell the stuff. We just can't teach it from the book verbatim. We have to be able to turn it around and teach it the right way because we're the ones that are responsible for what we say. I want to be duplicatable, what I say, what I share, what I think. Absolutely. There was a response that in order to status structure claims. Okay, the question is, I thought that as long as there was research behind it, we could say it. Yes and no. Young Living has requested that the only research we use to talk about when we're talking about any of the things that are eaten, so vitality, when we talk about it, we only use the ones that they have done. So they have already done the research. They've seen that it's a good enough study and that it's a claim that the FDA accepts as one that we're allowed to say. So that's the difference from that. All right, so that is that going on. All right, next thing we have. Antifungal, bugs, doctors, resources, essential oils at a glance. All right. All right, the next thing is like the scans. There's several different companies out there, whichever one you're using. Remembering that, yes, you can use them. That is perfectly fine to use them. But you cannot entice a member to get the scan in order to get them to sign up. That's something that we can't do. So they're not, that just think that through. I'm not going to give any hard and cold on that one. And just remember, if you do a scan on somebody, you have to let the scan do it the work. You can't then take their paper and say, oh, it says you need this and this and this oil and this and this and this supplement. It probably means you have X, Y, Z. That's when you start turning it into, I'm going to take all of this information and I'm going to become a doctor and I'm going to say, if it's saying you need this, this is what's happening in your body. Because honestly, it's not truth. Everybody's body is different. That's talking about getting our cells, and it's totally different from saying that there's a disease related to something. And we can't use fear to get people to do something. No good can come from that. It never was a good plan. We still shouldn't be doing that. If Young Living sells something that's compliant, I don't know if there was another question that I seen that was incorrect. These vitality for a healthy immune system. Yep, it says it right on the website. You can say that. Okay. So when you're using your scans, which is perfectly fine, I know like a ton of people use the different ones. I know there's a ton of them out there. That's fine. But I do want to throw this out there. And I know this has nothing to do with compliance, but I'm talking. You can hang up if you want. In business, integrity is huge. Like, people have to know that they can trust you 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that you have got their back. It's integrity. And that is in any area. That is, if somebody is bringing their brand new person to you, they know that you've got the integrity. You're going to take care of that person, and you're not going to hurt the person that brought them to you. You're going to make sure that that person gets sponsored, enrolled, taken care of, where they're supposed to be, right? That's integrity. And we all get that. But I also want to say, when you are doing multiple, I know I'm going to cross some lines, people are going to get mad, multiple different MLMs, multiple different network marketing companies, and you're talking to the people in your organization about the other company. So let's say you signed up an XYZ multi-level company and you're like so excited, and you go to the meeting and you start talking to other people in a meeting, a Young Living meeting about XYZ MLM. That's a lack of integrity. You can't do that. As a matter of fact, policies and procedures says you'll get kicked out for it. If you are in a network marketing company and you want to introduce it to somebody else that you know, somebody that you've known for a long time before you ever got into Young Living, that's one thing. You're allowed to do that. But if you start talking to people in your organization, upline, downline, crossline, sideline, and you met them because of Young Living, that's a lack of integrity. It's wrong. And we need to stop doing that. Young Living is an amazing company. We are essential oils. We are supplements. We are nutrients. And I'm not saying there's not any other amazing companies out there. I'm sure there are. And I'm sure some of you are in multiple ones and you love it. I purchase products from a couple different places. But you have never heard me talk about any other company that is another MLM, because it's a lack of integrity. All of you right now that I'm talking to, when people see my post, it goes out to a bunch of people. It's not even just my own team. This is passed all over. How would any of you guys feel if on this call right now, I start talking about this other great company I was with, and I say, but it's okay, it partners with what Young Living does. You're going to get one of these and it's going to do this for you, and you get one of these and it does that, and this is going to partner together. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And I stole half of your people and got them to go into another company. What would that do to you? Because that would make you question forever my integrity. You would be nervous to send people to anything I did. You wouldn't want to send them to my web. You'd be angry at me. You'd be hurt. You'd be frustrated. And it's something we have to understand. So if you are one of those that likes to do lots of things, and I'm not anti-MLM, obviously, I'm all for it. And I know that a lot of MLMs have way better products than you can buy in the stores. I get that. I'm not discounting that at all. I'm saying have integrity in the process. Make sure that when you're talking to people, you are aware of where you met them and where you are in the process. Because people will wonder if you're jumping from one thing to the next thing and you're trying to sell them this, and then, you're on this bandwagon, you're trying to sell them this, people are going to feel like you're selling. They're going to question you as a person. They're going to question if you're even right. You're jumping from thing to thing. I'm just saying, Young Living is an amazing company. We have a track record that is unmatched. We've got farms all over the world. We've got products that will change lives. If you're jumping around from company to company, it's because you're not building here. You cannot do 1,000 things and be amazing. You can't. But if you would do one thing and you do it consistently with all your everything, you could be astounding. You could fly to the top. You could. But again, it's integrity. It's doing the right thing for the right reason even when nobody else is looking, even when other people don't know what's going on. And I'll tell you what, in our team, in our group, in our area up here, and this is just the world according to Shannon, please don't take offense. But in our area, if you come to our groups, our meetings, our stuff, and you start trying to sell another MLM, another network marketing company, even if it is not a competing one, maybe you got some mats for the bed, you got something, some socks that will make you jump higher than anybody's ever jumped in the history of mankind. You got the socks that rock. But you come in my meeting and you start selling it, and I find out, you'll never be allowed in another meeting we do. It's immediate. I'll do the same thing. If somebody comes in and they take somebody that just signed up and they get them to switch their member number to another member number so they move underneath them instead, you'll never be able to come back to something I do again. It's integrity. Everybody knows that. If you from Istanbul send people to my meeting here in Michigan, we will take care of your people. They will be your people. I will sign them up underneath you. I won't go do one-on-ones for them, but they're welcome at everything we do and they're safe. But that safety is because my integrity has been passed down to everybody else in our group. And it means, well, if you go to like YLMIclasses.com, that's where we all the Michigan classes that are open to everybody are in that one particular page. You know that if anybody goes to any of those people will protect your people. It's integrity. We need to have it. If you're wondering why people aren't following you or your people are leaving and they're not sticking around, maybe you need to check and see where your integrity is. Maybe you need to have some hard conversations. Maybe some apologies need to happen. I'm just saying, it's in your hand. It's your choice. And even the words that we use, the things that we say when nobody is around, that's a part of that. That being compliant, it's knowing that if Young Living has asked me to do something, I'm on board. Somebody recently did a video, and I think it was supposed to be a little bit of a slap, but whatever, I didn't see it that way. And she was saying that, something about the yes women of Young Living. I'm not a yes woman of Young Living. I want you to know I am a yes woman of Young Living. If Young Living makes a change, I am behind it 100% because I know that I would not be here today if it were not for Young Living. My life was changed. I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of people's lives who were changed physically, financially, spiritually, emotionally. Whatever they do, I will follow. I will go right with them because I know that at the top of Young Living is Gary and Mary, and I know their integrity. Their integrity speaks huge for me. I know that anytime Gary makes a decision, anytime Mary makes a decision, anytime our corporate leaders make a decision, they are always saying, what is best for our people? How can we best take care of them? And their integrity has proven true to me. I've been with Young Living for 10 years now, February 2007, and they have always looked out for us. There might be times where I get frustrated. There might be times where I go, why don't we have, when is it Valor? Do we all want Valor? It smells amazing. Nothing smells like Valor. Nothing in the universe. It's amazing. But no matter how much I want it, no matter how much Young Living wants to give it to me, we can't get it right now because we are not willing to lose our integrity and put crap in a bottle. We just aren't. We aren't. And I appreciate that, knowing that it's not coming back right now, that Young Living is willing to change and figure out how we can make it happen so other people can have the Raindrops kit. See, my first experience with Young Living was the Raindrops kit, but everybody knew, all the brand new people, they haven't even been able to experience the Raindrops because it's been out of stock because we're waiting for one plant. We're waiting for one plant to make it happen. Instead, we said, there is good, better, and best. Right? Nobody can dispute that Valor in the Raindrops kit is the best. Is that the best? It is. But the best isn't available right now. And Young Living will not change the integrity and make a cheap, janky, wrong product. Instead, he created, developed, designed Valor 2. So it can still be available. And then waited a year, said, it's not the best, but it's better. It's better than having nothing because that's what they've had. All these new people, Feelings Kit. Do you think Feelings Kit changes people's lives? You bet. The number of people just with the Feelings Kit, and if you guys know me at all, that was a big deal. The whole feelings thing, I didn't get it. But I've seen lives changed. But because it's not available in a kit, people weren't using it. So best, that would be obviously with our Valor. But better, it's good, better, best. We've got our Raindrops back. Not quite yet. It's coming back in a couple of days. I'm just saying, your integrity is everything. And you on this call right now, I'm calling you a leader. I'm calling you out right now straight up. Because a leader A leader is somebody that wants to make sure their words are right. And you're on this call and you want to make sure that you're honorable, that you're keeping it that way. And a leader will set the tone for their team. Your people will either be good with making the changes and they're going to try to strive to say things the right way. They're going to, they might still mess up. Do we still mess up? I started to during this call, right? We will, but they will strive to be better because of your leadership. What you choose to do, how you act, whether or not you whine and pout that this is silly and you say it your own way anyways. Or if you just go, this is exciting. This is a whole new way. These oils are going to be here for our children's children. I'm so excited to be a part of this change, this transition. This is amazing. And the same is true when Young Living is out of something and Valor's been gone forever. As a leader in this company, your job is to say, Young Living is doing the best they can for us. They're doing the best they can. They're taking care of us. They have our back. That is your job as a leader. Your job is to get on it. When you see somebody that goes overboard and tries to stir up problems, your job as a leader isn't to fight with them. It's not to bicker. It's not to correct. It's to state a fact. It's to move on. And then you change the story. We get to rewrite the story. So if somebody's having a temper tantrum and we write a better story, we change the flow. I'm just saying. All right, you guys, I went over. I wanted to get done at 7:30. Let me look real quick to see if there's any other questions. Boom, that's straight up. 1000% dedication. I love it. I love it. I love it. Didn't know about being compliant. Oh, I'm so glad you were on the call. I love it when new people are on here. Aw. All right. Hopefully I got all your questions. If not, you can post them on the... Where would I have you post them? Go to Shannon Hudson, my Facebook page, and post your questions on there, and I will try to get them answered the next day or two. And on that, I love you guys all. Get out there, spread the message, do the thing. Remember, we've got webinars going on every single week. They are at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can find all the information on ShannonHudsonYL.com and register for them. I think the next week's class is... It's on something. Elite Express. It's on the Elite Express program and how you can use it to help build your team. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Have a great night. Isn't that turning off? End call. Post publicly. Huh. I don't know how to do it. Uh-oh, you guys, we might not have a recording. It's not letting me post it. We'll see. There's going to be a lot of sad people. All right. Good night.